CLG, I think they're kind of like Golden Guardians were in 2021, where they had a lot of young rookie talent coming into the LCS, and I'm really excited to play against them. I think they have a lot of growth potential, and I've played against Palafox for many years. I'm very comfortable playing against him, and it's always fun to play against him. We're good friends outside of the game, so it's always fun.
I'm excited to see the matchup as well. I'm a big Ablazeolive fan, a pretty big Palafox fan as well. Ablazeolive. It's a good name, you know. I call him that every time I check out him on Twitch, and it's a nice go. Fun matchup though here today.
Copy fasting.
What's that? Oh no. Yeah.
Like
We're gonna. Yeah. Oh yeah. I call him Ablazeolive. It's
control.
Ablazeolive, by the way. Yeah. No, we're good. It's a fun match though. So both these teams are winless. However, Golden Guardians could just as easily be 2-0.
Yeah.
They had a 7,800 gold lead against FlyQuest before the comeback happened, and even in the Cloud9 game, they had leads there as well. This team could have won their matches. CLG had their own topsy-turvy. They both actually had FlyQuest as their opponents. That's how FlyQuest, of course, 2-0. They beat both these squads. But now we're going to see what they can do out of this one. Zhao instantly locked in. Pridestalker no longer going to play an assassin in the jungle, sadly.
Yep. Not going to this time around. Did get to see a couple, which was really cool because that did feel like a unique thing to this team, at least in the LCS.
Yeah.
As they had brought out the Zed, as well as the Kiana, I believe, or was it Talon? Talon
no,
got banned,
it was Kiana Yuumi, and yeah, Talon was his second most played champion of all of last year, and it was, Zed was, and you know, didn't click it over the line, though they had leads in both those games. Aphelios locked in here for Lost.
Yep. Gonna be interesting to see what CLG is bringing out. Luger, well known for his Jinx. You know, this is a pick that he's really excels at, and I think CLG as well had definitely opportunities in their games to be able to win. Giloto was talking about it on the desk, and I really do agree that anyone feels like they can kind of beat anyone in the league right now. It does feel like the bottom of the league is still very competitive with teams in the middle and teams potentially up at the top. But as far as the impact of starting 0-3, it does really hurt, I think, mentally even speaking. So these teams going to be searching for a win, going to be trying to get some momentum, as Immortals was able to do it earlier today. TSM, the other winless team, going to be searching for a win in their next game.
And we're going to see what happens. Coach Anero there. Nick, moving on. Corki's going to be banned away. And I honestly had the read that the nerfs to Corki in 12.3, which we are on, was going to be enough to send him out of the pro meta, since the package is no longer going to really sync up with Dragons as easily anymore. Turns out people still really want to pick him as a generically safe scaling mid laner, so still on the table and dropped off.
Yeah, he is very strong, and a lot of the picks that are kind of traditionally used against him in solo queue, people feel are either too risky or uncomfortable to actually bring out, you know, in pro play. Akshan is one of those champions that Corki is just abysmal against in solo queue, gets absolutely obliterated by in lane. You know, when you look statistically, has an incredibly low win rate against it, but it's just not something we're seeing a lot of in pro because it is much higher risk. Most of the picks in general that are successful against Corki are ones that you have to play aggressive to actually capitalize on Corki's weaknesses in the early game. But that exposes you to ganks, and with coordinated play in pro, people often are feeling like it's just too risky to go for. I would be excited to see FLICKR come out. He has really strong, scales incredibly well. And we have been seeing some different looks here from Palafox. He did bring out the Yasuo one game, the Viktor another, so has showcased a couple of different styles of champions. And I do think this could fit for them quite well, especially if you end up going into melee heavy teams. It's so strong.
Okay, so they go Sylas Flex instead. Of course, stealing a Sinjai ultimate makes it a reasonable pick. You can frontline pretty well. Stealing Leona
is nice too.
Not bad either, right? So decent picks there for that option. Can flex it top or mid based on matchup. I think FLICKR can still work. It's actually pretty good against Sinjai, right? He goes in for the hard engage. You just cage and walk back. You wait out his ulti and then just take the team fight afterwards. Or if he just like face checks you melee, you're like, okay, I'll just hit all my buttons and ult you at the end. It's going to work out all right. Viktor going to be locked in for the mid lane here. Renekton in the top side here as well. So Licorice back to a Renekton game. And we'll see now where Sylas wants to go, if he wants to face up against Viktor or Renekton. I feel like the Renekton lane's going to be pretty tough. And so I'm kind of expecting to go to mid here for Palafox, and Jenkins gets the answer with maybe a gangplank.
Yeah, I think Renekton is definitely very difficult for Sylas, you know, up on the top side. Would be going towards mid, very likely. Ornn coming through here for Jenkins, so likely playing weak side. This is one of those matchups where, you know, in the earlier stages of the game, Renekton can get advantage, especially I think post first buy can be somewhat problematic. But as Ornn, builds up more armor, you can very quickly get to the point where Renekton can no longer bully you. You can comfortably clear at your tower and then bring those scaling options to the team fight. Gives you a somewhat guaranteed team fight engage. Lee Sin, Sylas, Thresh become then more about the follow-up than the initial engage. And of course, the Ornn items, always going to be really nice to kind of put things over the top when it comes towards those later stages.
I will say, though, outside of the Ornn, which I agree is just obviously the better late game champion in pretty much all contexts, every other lane, I actually take the Golden Guardian
side. You like Aphelios more than Jinx for late game?
A lot, actually.
Interesting.
So I think like Jinx, of course, is very powerful, and of course, she can play at 725 range.
That's what I really like, is I just think range is so valuable in late game when time to kill gets incredibly low.
But the thing I'll kind of bring up, though, is like, you get red-white on like an Aphelios, and he actually kills your entire team in 2 seconds, right? The big Inferno Molts brings your entire team to half HP like he's Karthus. Like, yeah, it's not every single time, but the good Aphelios is, like, they'll save white if they have to, they'll save green if they have to, there's just something there that he's always got access to that feels high impact that I personally just take Aphelios. Hey, maybe that's going to be up for debate and other people take differently, but that's just my own read on this one.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, it can, of course, be hard to play Sylas as well if you don't have a Sinjai ult for yourself. And either way, it's going to be a fun game regardless. My eyes are going to be set on the 5-minute, 50-second chance at a top lane tower dive. Licorice should own top lane against Jenkins. I want to see if they want a first blood over there with Pridestalker showing up, or something else happens in the meantime and the game moves apart from that.
Yeah, I'm also going to be following this mid lane. While Sylas is definitely going to have a better time against Viktor than Renekton, it still can be a pretty difficult matchup early on because it is actually Ares Scorch. He's also going Tom or Tonic with the Corrupting Potion. So there is a high amount of poke damage that can come out in these early stages. And if you overfight for some of these early minions, you can really run out of health fast. And get pushed back to base at pretty bad times. As long as you can kind of survive the first few waves and be okay, get a few levels, Sylas can start to get to this point where you can at least spend your health to wave clear and then just continually reset and kind of stay healthy on the map that way. But definitely those early levels in a lot of these matchups are key. How many lasers can Viktor hit can dictate so much, especially when you're going Ares Scorch, because every single time it's very punishing.
And it's basically on charitably mind games, realistically just on the Viktor, that his E hits you. Because it's instant cast, it's got like a 700 range, like initial location. So realistically, if he's paying attention, E will hit you on every CS you ever go for if it's up from cooldown. If you mind game him really hard, maybe you dodge it, but it's on Viktor to land every single one of those. Like if the auto attack's gonna trigger Aerie, his Q, if he needs to, will do the same thing with Scorch as well. So yeah, I expect it to be very difficult to lane well against Viktor early on. Pridestalker gets his leash and going for a pretty heavy clear, actually taking Krugs here on this Xin Zhao, as the mid lane is to fight for the wave a little bit. And in the early game, of course, Viktor cooldowns are reasonably long, and it's not so hard to play around it. Contractz here with the early E gets to do Raptors a bit faster.
Yep, he's going to be clearing likely down towards bot side. Has the Thresh down there, could try to look for more of an aggressive play. These lanes can be pretty explosive when you have the Thresh, when you have the Leona. Both are playing Glacial Augment and Ignite, so not a lot of tankiness. They do have the ability to kind of lock each other down and look for those potential kills. Contractz just going, red Raptors into the Gromp actually here.
Yeah.
So, going for a pretty quick level 3, and we'll see where he wants to go after this. If he's going to try to take an aggressive look or just fall back into more of a farming pattern and just kind of clear it out.
I like this ward as well. Lee Sin, I think, pretty much always skips Krugs, so not a ton of information actually gleaned by that ward, but guarantees you know what's going on. Contractz.
He wants to go for Krugs very likely. He's going for a wraparound.
I think it might be towards the mid lane. Of course, keep in mind,
Yep.
Palafox should have CC. This bypasses every single ward. Is this going to be the volatile play you're looking for? Stun, should it land? Good flash to the side. That is Ablazeolive losing his flash, as Contractz can now go collect Gromp and Wolves. At most, Pridestalker can steal Krugs, and even that's going to be a risk.
A nice little aggressive path there from Contractz. So just gets quick level 3, straight over, ward hops over the wall, has the read that the ward is going to be in the side brush by the river here. And I think able to circumvent that vision, get behind. Yes, they don't get the kill, but they do get the flash, and it relieves the pressure here. Palafox is going to be able to farm up this wave unharassed, so he's going to be feeling good. And doesn't really slow down the clear that much. He's going to be down, one camp or so at that point, but he's going to have the extra camp still available there to farm. And up on the top side, something you're going to see a lot of when you're playing Ornn into Renekton, those early levels, is your tower. And it's just going to be about how well you can farm these out. You can use E to help you prep those minions, and W with the passive proc is going to be more than enough, but you have to be careful about, as he hit that third range minion, didn't have time to actually get that last auto out.
Here's the expected counterplay. Again, new Krugs was up. Could have always surmised it based on just seeing Lee Sin's path and seeing the gank, but the ward, of course, makes it really safe. Top lane pressure means, yes, you can steal Krugs. Now, Contractz is coming over. He's going to bring Jenkins there as well. The ward's going to be killed. And level 4 Zhao could be a threat, but it could be a fight all the same. Half HP. Jenkins the knockup. Now big damage to the Zhao. 200 HP left onto him. Who's going to find it first? A flash to safety. Jenkins grasps, and he's got a teammate there as well. A 1-for-1 stays alive. Licorice forced to flash away. Steals part of the camp, but the extra gold, I believe, goes to CLG.
Yeah, that grass proc actually kept him alive long enough to get an additional attack off there and get the first blood. The painful part is that he walked away from a pushed wave, meaning that he loses those minions on the scrap and that it pushes away from him. A great trade from Palafox, but obviously spent all the spells, not gonna have enough to quite kill him off there. And Licorice did get a kill back himself, so Licorice is gonna be up in XP quite a lot, and that is kind of the problem there, but this is a very close fight. Starts off looking kind of rough for CLG as Jenkins is down half very, very quick, but the QW hits the passive proc, gets the double knockup. That sets up for Contractz to come through. That grass proc actually helped live long enough for him to get the final Q and get the kill. Nicely done there. The presence of mind from Jenkins the turn, knowing he can't escape, he can't get out of range. You got to go for that grass proc, and it did allow him to get first blood.
Palafox was there soon as well, so even if the kill did go really poorly and Pridestalker looked pretty good, you still probably get the rest of it off of the Sylas showing up. So well done so far. That said, Ablazeolive up heavily in farm. Some of that, yes, is the roam, of course, but lane kingdom so far for the Golden Guardians mid laner. Looking to see what's next up. 400 gold lead to Golden Guardians.
Oh, he sees
Jungle
him.
farm, mid farm, top farm as well.
He's going around. Yeah, he saw them both walk past it, so he knows that he's not there. And now Poome is showing, saying, "You're safe. Nobody's here."
Oh, meanwhile, Luger off of his teammates showing on the ward. Not safe, but the kill comes through in the mid lane. Well done. Luger lives, finds a slow as he is out of Summoner's Cleanse and Flash to get away from Olleh at the end. Ignite was saved, knowing they didn't have the damage just yet. And that is going to be safety, but CLG on the board with the second kill gets the game a bit closer in goal.
Man, we need to get a full replay of that sequence from Contract's point of view, because that was actually really well played. Some nice mind games there from CLG. Capitalizing on the early flash that was forced was really, really well done there. The ward gave them the info that they needed, showed them that Olleh and Lost had walked back towards bot, made him think he's safe. They get in.
They might force a flash, but Olleh tanks all the damage, puts the shield up. Is he gonna die? Takes the E, flash the safety, and Lost just shuts down Poome. Glacier does not give you any tank stats, and they focus the Thresh, the flash auto, and Lost has won this fight 2-0.
That is huge for Golden Guardians. CLG, I was singing their praises. They created an advantage, and then it's just all thrown away right there, trying to go for Olleh. And even if you get that kill, you're allowing a white gun Aphelios to stack up those chakrams, to fire back, get the damage out there, and Lost. So here is the play. So he has no vision, or rather, the Golden Guardian side has no vision. The plant just barely misses. They have the pink ward down. The red ward there in the brush sees them go by, and then as soon as they are out of line of sight, he has Poome come over here. Poome showing on this ward, as Contractz can just wrap completely around. Full awareness of where the wards were, played it out perfectly, even utilizing the Thresh to kind of give that false sense of security. That is a really heads-up play from CLG and Contractz. Unfortunately, it's followed up by this one, where they're moving on in here. They go in for the aggressive play, but Luger is not in position to actually follow up whatsoever. The only thing he got in range for was the zap. And then Luger not feeling comfortable to actually step forward. They're back towards mid, the hook connects.
Great hook for Poome! Thankfully for Blaze, all of his flashes come back from cooldown after the level 2 gank.
Whoop.
Rocket not gonna land, yeah. Gonna be okay, but a lot of pressure on this mid lane. A kill on the board for Palafox from before. CLG trying to play it close, but it's a 1,000 gold lead to Golden Guardians. Blaze all gonna ulti just for the wave clear here and misses some of it. As Luger just kind of sits alone in the bot lane. Ulti's gonna find a stun. There's a lantern, decent damage, will not kill, but 200 health is low for a Jinx.
Yeah, that gets really risky. He has only the one potion that is currently running, so he's got to be very careful now, and it's going to mean you lose plates. Your jungler is not there. That is, what, 10 minions, probably at least, that you're going to actually have to give up, plus the one plate. As Lee Sin is now down in the area, they feel safe to kind of move up and collect the last little bits of it, but a good bit of pressure there from Golden Guardians, not overextending, going for the kill. They know they couldn't get the actual full to dead lethal there, but are able to put on some pressure and utilize this small advantage that they've already created to extend it that much further.
Denies 100 gold or so from the minions he had to drop, and that's pretty good for a couple of ultis. And now on the top side, Golden Guardians. Infinite top lane pressure, ADCS at 66, and that's, with the kill on each of them. Top Herald will be claimed, no problem. Pridestalker smites it with, I believe, the last of his small smites. And then we'll see where it goes. Demolish has been used a couple of times top lane. Licorice have gotten a bit of damage done. You could probably go for the entire turret here. And indeed, you can see how far back Jenkins is playing. Yeah, obviously, he already knows Xin Zhao's top lane off of the Herald call out, and at 3k, you summon it. Pretty much guarantees it's going to happen, and indeed that will drop. So a surge of gold comes through to Renekton and the Xin Zhao. The fighter squad is going to be very, very far ahead.
And they should be able to walk it in for a second charge. They see Lee Sin, I think, down on the bottom side. I'm not sure if that ward actually spotted him. Now they see him for sure. So now I would have thought that they would want to actually escort that in.
Hit it. If it gets the eye, it's gone. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. I feel like knowing Lee Sin's down on the bottom side, unless the call is to actually try to respond to this dragon if you think you can stop it, but I don't think they have anywhere close to enough time to do that. And those tier 2 towers are so valuable. Yes, the Herald won't kill it outright, but it'll put it low enough that if Jenkins is ever not there when Licorice gets the tower between Demolish and a couple autos, the tower gets finished off, and you get a really nice injection of gold. So I do pretty highly prize pushing in for that second charge anytime it can't be a 2v2.
Quick zap on with champion, has lost 6 bit of damage, but with Red Gun will heal right back up to full. As you get the double Gore Drinker in. First mythics on the board belong to Golden Guardians. Thanks to the pressure around the top lane. The problem is they can't use it on anything just now, as Dragon was already taken off the table by CLG's bottom side, and it's just some golden pockets that won't convert for a while.
Look at the gold lead, though. Almost 3k here. Just past 10 minutes into the game. Feeling very, very good. You're happy about the scaling that they have on this team. Obviously, Aphelios, Viktor, really, really strong in the later stages.
Yeah.
The Xin, for sure, is going to have more value on average than Lee Sin. Lee Sin always has. One of those things, I always really liked Peter Dunn explained it this way, where, Lee Sin is a champion that basically scales with player skill, right? And I kind of actually really like putting it that way, because on average, your performance is going to be lower, your value is going to be lower, but if you can pull off the big play, you can have much higher value than some of these other champions. And I think it's a really smart way to put it, and it applies, I think, to a number of these really high variance, high skill champions.
They land the hook, but it's really just for the disengage. Pridestalker up 2 levels on Contractz. Contractz hits the smite, though. Chipping in for a bit more, though, is the Xin Zhao kicked into the tower. And as you mentioned, scales with player skill. Almost finds it, but no!
Oh.
Well, keep it going.
Man,
keep the comment. It scales with player skill. I'm sorry, Contractz drops again, shut down by the Aphelios.
That is actually heartbreaking. When your bottom lane is losing, your jungler is losing, Pridestalker's just walking into your tower 1v3, and you say, all right, punish this guy. What is he doing? Kick flash under the tower. Not only do you die, insult to injury, he just walks out the other side. That sucks for CLG. And off the back of that, they are monstrously behind here. The gold lead extending even further. Lost is the one that got the kill. They get more play to lose more farm. This is 5k now at 12 minutes. This is a stomp all of a sudden off of what was looking like a decent early game there for CLG. The wheels just kind of fell off here pretty quick.
That's too bad, but that is kind of the case we're in right now. Merc Tread's now done for the Renekton to shore off some crowd control. There is quite a lot on the CLG side, of course. And with the double longsword, I'm leaning Death's Dance here on Pridestalker Xin Zhao, which is, outstanding. I know you and I were both checking fighter itemization on the new patch. Death's Dance is pretty much the generic #1 option for any jungle fighter. Ma comes close, so if you're against more... Obviously, hey, we're going to do a Gore Drinker or whatever. Mythics are not changing that much, but you're going Death's Dance or sometimes Ma based on composition. Death's Dance is generically pretty strong. And so, a pretty good, just if you want to brain AFK, just Death's Dance Ma every game, it's going to be close enough.
Yep. And when you're playing from ahead, as they are, you very often can actually, get that reset, get the heal from the Death Dance, and then it becomes such a snowbally item, especially on some of these kind of sustainy fighters. Champions like the Xin, who can be very difficult to actually knock down. You start getting those kills, it can just become near impossible. Palafox looking for a flank, trying to see if they can find an angle here, but he's just trying to fight his way out.
Horn, knock up there. It's going to be enough damage. Palafox walks away for a second. Contractz on the board. CLG looking for signs of life. A flash to safety. Ablazeolive getting around the chompers. But that is a fight won by CLG. TP not even spent for that one. Jenkins was already there for the play.
Yeah, Jenkins just walking down. They know that this game is getting out of control. They're saying, okay, we cannot play standard lanes. We need to make a play. They call down the Ornn. But the problem with that is Renekton's going to be chilling in the top lane. We'll see if he can actually finish off the tower top or not. But this is one of those cases where, you know, if we can get a look at that top tier 2 and see how much health it actually got down to, it would have actually died had they gotten the second Herald charge. So this is one of those cases where it did actually make a difference. Had they walked in that Herald, it would have been a dead tower there, and that's another injection of gold that unfortunately for them, they missed out on.
Yeah, 4,600 would have been 54 as Golden Guardians goes to the resets. 50 gold to everybody plus 600 on Licorice individually.
And that's a big deal for a snowballing Renekton.
Exactly, right? You suddenly get to finish your, you know, some other big piece of Death Dance, right? Like it finishes Warhammer. Oh, it's a pretty big deal here. It's an expensive hobby, you know, Warhammer. So important that he gets that gold whenever possible.
Do you have to paint them and, you know, paint the items in League
You can
2?
buy pre-painted ones. They cost even more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have friends who play Warhammer.
Do you play Warhammer?
I don't.
No?
I don't. My only tabletop hobby is D&D, but a fun game and much cheaper. You buy a source book, or your DM buys a source book, and you get to play for free. It's great.
All right. Well, CDR boots here for Pridestalker.
Oh, that is big damage. Lost. Can he kill him? Not quite. The ulti comes out as the Lantern's already there for safety, but a nice try.
Yeah, Lost getting aggressive there. You know, when you have that early Gale Force completion, your burst gets so high on Aphelios. You know, when you know these combos, when you know your kill thresholds, you can start playing it very, very in the face of your opponent. Try to look for those kills. Contractz taking that in, but Licorice, the only reason you have to be scared is if someone else is there, so you're not really in any threat of dying in the 1v1. You just have to keep moving away back to your tower, make sure that someone else doesn't arrive and find that fight. And now Contractz may have overstayed his welcome. He's on the wrong side of town.
He has Smite, isn't using it. There we go, get some health back, and now Pridestalker's here, kicks for one. Cannot channel because Pridestalker's already there. He's in combat, I'm sorry, Contractz, but you have died. Signs that one with his own blood. Another death now, 3 on the board for Contractz.
Yeah, that is just a bit of a greedy play there. You know, when you show pushing the Renekton out, you do not have control on that side of the map. They have no vision on that side of the map. Ablazeolive, though, may get ran down here. We'll see if Poome can find him.
That should be a slow, so a flash play, and no flash should make this one a very easy follow. A sidestep guarantees it. I like that to the left. If you dodge at all, you dodge to your doom. Sadly, Poome claims the kill. Ignite was unfortunately unneeded, but money on the board for CLG. Gold lead rests at still 5,000.
Yep, nice little kill there on that bottom side, but they do get Herald on the other side of the map here. So going to be able to either take down the tier 1 or even just kind of drop it up on that top side. Licorice does collect the gold from that tier 2, so they get that injection just a little bit later here. And now the threat of a wraparound around this mid lane is pretty real as they're kind of just moving forward, getting vision. If you step too far into your jungle, or what at least used to be your jungle for Contractz, it's getting rough. And I mean, you don't have to look any further than the vision on the map. This is so many deep wards. You know, we've got a deep ward over here. We have these wards all in this area. There's nothing on the other side of the map for CLG except that one ward hop ward that Contractz was using over by the enemy blue buff where he died.
Well, his body no longer a ward. It's come back up as a real champion.
Spotted though, he's looking for the flank.
Unfortunately, yeah, so not going to be able to find that play. Another turret goes down 4-0. Golden Guardians have grown a 6,000 gold lead. Now it hits 7,800 against FLICKR before it turned around, so CLG, never say never. When you believe in them the least, they start doing the best. CLG sadly had hype coming into the season, so y'all cursed it for them. Think about that next time, CLG fans.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Let that be a lesson.
Don't get excited about your team. What are you thinking?
Just saying, keep the cautious pessimism, and then you're gonna start getting the wins. That's all I'm
Glass is
saying.
half empty.
Glass is half empty. CLG.
The faith is half full.
The faith is half full. I think that's actually, that should be their hashtag. That's a root in time. He can't lantern. Oh, lost. He lands it all. Olleh follows it up. And Luger gets dropped, his first death of the game.
Luger was trying to play it right to the edge. They're trying to wait till the end of the Lantern, get enough damage out, then take the Lantern to safety. But Lost had the better timing. They get the root right before it's about to expire. He can't take the Lantern. Olleh flashing in. And Lost and Olleh, it has been a bot gap in this game. They have been crushing. They have been the ones with the pressure, turning around ganks when they come down there, pressuring those tower plates. And it is a quick second item here for Lost. He is basically a full item up on Luger at this point, so we'll see if they can get Licorice. Licorice is strong, but 3-man bot.
Renekton ulti stolen, kicked into the wall to buy some time, flayed backwards, you gotta believe he dies, gets a big heal. Gore Drinker into empowered Q, and he's got reinforcements. Ablazeolive's here. Try to blaze a trail for the squad, and now Licorice to 1k help, but Q's back up in a second. Here's a heal. Luger's gonna be around. Does Lost get the play? He's got teammates as well. Olleh wants to get around. Long range ulti, can it land? Hex Flash, that'll get him in range. That's gonna be one target, will it be more? They find a single kill. The rest get out. CLG walk away with only one death, but the gold lead is now 7,400.
That is when you know you're in trouble. 1v3. Licorice, when they didn't kill him at the start, he gets the Gore Drinker, he gets the empowered Q, pops the ulti. More than tanky enough to survive, and Ablazeolive coming through. The flash now having to be popped by Luger because he just barely did not have the cleanse available there. Another tower gonna fall. This gold lead is enormous. 8,000 pre-20 here. Golden Guardians are just absolutely slaughtering CLG in this one. They are looking so aggressive, so confident coming out the gates here, and this is the kind of play you want to see. This is the kind of play I think a lot of people were hoping to see from Lost on TSM last year, where I think somewhat unfairly he received a lot of criticism. You know, he wasn't the best marksman in the league, but he was a pretty solid player, and I think the expectations were just so high when he's coming in trying to kind of fill the shoes of Doublelift, who had exited. That's pretty hard for a young player to do, and I think Lost, showing his class for sure in this game, has looked really good, has been playing it aggressive, and showing some of that potential that we know he has in this new pairing with Olleh. And it's kind of, you know, the old and the new brought together here. Olleh coming back, you know, from a retirement, making his entrance into the league, you know, wanting to really make this, you know, his career again, and proving himself, you know, by climbing to the top of Korean Challenger, showing he still had it, and now trying to look good here.
In danger, gets the lantern, but he's at 5 HP. I'm just saying, Collector probably would have killed him. Lord Dominic's went ahead, does not give you squishies. Obviously, it doesn't really matter.
He's playing Ornn later.
He's playing for the future. Exactly. He's building for the future. He's playing like, hey, it's a power trough right now, but you know, when we're at 3 items, if it gets there, I'm at IE LDR. I will kill the Ornn. Like, it's a style choice here. You know, not going to give him too much criticism for it, but it is not like always correct. It's a style choice.
For sure. Yeah, and this is something we've talked about a lot in the past, and I just kind of look at it like, are you playing for 2 items or are you playing for 3, right? You know, and Collector, I think, is a really powerful 2-item power spike. He's kind of future-proofing his build, so to speak, right? You know that Ornn is going to have a lot of armor later on. Between him and the Viktor, though, they are already getting, you know, Magic Pen through. They have the LDR through. The Ornn is just going to be too far behind the curve, I think, to really stand up in any reasonable fight. So for CLG, it's going to be about the X Factor. Usually when you're this far down on gold, it comes down to CC. You know, you have to have the kick flash on the right carry and knock him in, get the kill instantly, because you cannot take, you know, even fights whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm seeing now, Jinx gets to play for a wave, drops the cast minion, lanterns out as soon as he sees Aphelios on his screen, because careful, Gale Force Purple Q is a root that gets hit confirmed into death, and there's no lantern without cleanse. And you don't want to lose cleanse for cast minion, so plays it safely. Golden Guardians keep the wards down, Hex Flash over the wall. Olleh would love to keep controlling this side of the map. Only a 26 CS lead in the top lane for the Renekton, but he's gotten enough done here. Death Dance in, going towards some magic resist. As the mid lane is getting cleared out, Luger dropped a bit low, try to disengage. CLG staying alive as long as they can. They find that kill on the Viktor. They got the CC lock, and they got the shutdown. So signs of life for the blue.
Yeah, they have gotten a few picks on Ablazeolive, who has got to play a little bit careful. You know, he got picked down on bot, now he gets picked here around mid. You have to pay respect to the power of the engage. CLG does still have some really good engage and some really strong follow-up on that. But, you know, Licorice, though he's only up 26 CS, don't think you can blame him too hard for it, because he's at 11 CS per minute or so, you know? So he is farming really, really well. I think Jenkins has done a good job actually maximizing farm when catching those waves. And some credit deserved by him as well for not being too far down. Licorice, though, going to try to sneak out here, and Contractz maybe in the wrong spot.
Root, trying to get the ward hop, gets away a little bit here. Got Palafox around, but it's going to be enough. A flash E for Pridestalker, wants in for a bit more. Sinja ult to buy a second, but it's not going to matter. And he gets to click the lantern, though. So safety for Palafox, but another death for Contractz.
And they can go Baron. Baron is spawned. You have the jungler dead. You're in the area. Are they going to make the retreat to it? I think they should. Just have Ablazeolive kind of play bodyguard on the outside, and there's no reason that you can't at least draw them in and look for a turn. And that's exactly what they are going to do here. Try to force CLG to take a fight that they know they can't win.
They're going to get a little bit hooked down, but 4v5 is going to be tough. Ornn not up for a little bit here. Same for the jungle, same for the mid. So that's going to be a tough play right here. 3k health, just kill it slowly, let Pridestalker gingerly bring it down to 900, wait out the Jinx rocket. Okay, that's going to be good enough for us. 150.
Ooh, that was a late smite there.
Yeah.
That one made me a little bit nervous.
Not the best. You know, that was a little Aphelios crit with Chakram, so it just keeps going chunk, 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 chunk. You get it eventually, but it's fine. It's fine. The Baron has been claimed.
Bombs right there.
10,000 gold lead. At CLG fans, and I mean this in the nice way possible, just for this game, just stop believing, and then you get the comeback. All right, just count them out. See what happens from there. I want to point out, though,
quite the comeback.
This would be a gigantic comeback. I'd say easily the biggest of the year, since this is 10,000 gold difference. Yep. Also worth noting that Hextech Rift is the snowballiest rift of them all, so that can make it really tough to play around as they get extra aggressive plays with the Hex Gates. And they're trying to get away, and so far it's going to be the case. 2v2 soon, though, as Olleh is on the way over. Pridestalker here soon, and CLG just have to walk away out of this one.
Yep, Licorice not in any threat there whatsoever. Even if he takes a little bit of damage, he had not used the Gorgon Interactive, he had not used his ultimate, so you can't get babied in on that play. If CLG committed to it, they would have been going down. Pridestalker, though, going to have the ulti forced out as he's kind of stepping forward pretty aggressively into Luger, and Luger's still going to do some damage. He is on 2 items there. You know, he is not a joke on the Jinx, though he is far behind, so have to pay some respect to that. Make sure that this is a clean close out here at Golden Guardians, looking for their first win, and you want to make sure it's a clean one.
Objective bounty going to be useful. Those are guaranteed to be fully stacked bounties, so 6% more, 800 extra gold for that turret, 1,300 for the top lane outer. Brings it back a little bit, but instantly answered as mid lane inhibitor is down, bot lane wave being pushed in, and the mid inhibitor itself will drop after that turret was slain.
Palafox back, they're going to go.
Trying right now, 5v4. Gale Force gets lost to safety, and that is a big ulti down, which means probably no more team fight. A quick stun, though. We know no ulti on Pridestalker could be playable as Palafox walks in for a bit more. They trade the ultis actually back and forth now, and that's forcing a Lantern back to safety. Thankfully, high ability haste for Pridestalker. Let's get the ulti back again just in time. That's going to be double inhibitor down for CLG.
I mean, he has a super high CDR build. A lot of these new kind of bruiser items have a lot of CDR on them that you're building. You're not going Sterix anymore. He has Black Cleaver, a Caulfield, and he has CDR boots. So he has a lot of cooldown reduction and can afford to use that ultimate pretty haphazardly. You know, it's under a minute cooldown at this point. He's going to be building towards that Death Stance next, very likely, and going to have a really strong 3 items. Death Stance has already been done for quite some time on Licorice. Item is super, super effective, and this top half of the map is really, really strong at this point. The IE has come through for loss, so he is past that power trough. He is really at a strong point of the game, and you can see on the other side, yes, Luger got his upgraded Ornn item. That is nice, but he's on just the pickaxe of the IE, so he has a very long way to go to ever catch up here with Lost. And for CLG, it's going to be trying to capitalize on mistakes. You know, they've got to try to find people overextending on a side, utilize your strong engage, get an instant pick, pull back, try to kind of just keep buying yourself more and more time to slowly scale it up and hope you can get it a bit more even later on. But, I mean, Golden Guardians have some strong win conditions here. Pilfer the enemy jungle, take away camps, wait towards Soul, which is only 4 minutes away, and even before that, you've got another opportunity for a Baron, which is going to draw CLG out of their base.
At least in the meantime, we've got a quick play here in the top jungle, and able to come back to safety with the Lantern. The Ornn upgrades are coming through. Both he and Jinx have upgraded Mythics, so every level add another 800 or so gold to the inventories of CLG, and they've got just that little bit of extra stats. I assume Palafox will be next up, and they can try to keep up in this game as they farm the inhibitors. Good to see Golden Guardians still getting the farm that they can, though, as Licorice shoves in the mid lane himself. Doesn't let the XP and gold go to waste, and they're looking at poking the top side. Will this be a turret they can siege? Ulti down for Lost, hits nothing. No play to be had.
Not going to find too much there, but really the name of the game is just keeping them pinned in a base. You know, one of the kind of unseen powerful things about keeping a team locked in like this is they start to lose vision on the map because all your wards will start to expire, right? If you keep them pinned up here for a couple minutes, the only thing they can actually have out on the map is a pink.
Right, double slow, nice attempt by Palafox with the Leona ulti, not going to happen though. Bot wave shoved in, both of them. It's going to be a pretty slow clear for the Ornn, but will there even be a tower dive? FLICKR's on the way, so maybe so. Jenkins has to walk over. The turret's going to take some damage as they're a play. Stun going to land on a 2, and here's the dive in for Pridestalker. Is it enough, though, as the Ornn comes across? Gets some CC. Will they shut down Pridestalker? They're going to try. They trade him for the turret. 1 for 1 in that regard, but that is still a kill on the board. Luger cleansing, running away, staying alive. Decent damage on an Olleh. And careful, it could be stunned. He is so, but no re-engage, so safety. Turret is down, but the Nexus turrets will not yet fall. A kill on the board, buy some time. CLG stay alive.
They do stay alive, and critically keeping that third inhib up is such a big deal because it becomes so overwhelming if you actually do lose that. The Hex Gates, this is some of the power of being ahead. Is it actually way more useful as kind of a defensive tool for the winning team than it is as an aggressive tool for the losing team?
Oh, yeah.
You cannot just blind Hexgate into the other team's jungle when you are down 10k gold. You will almost always have that go bad. So really, you kind of only get access to these first gates, you know, out towards wolves to increase your clear speed and things like that. But even that can be very dangerous to take when you don't have any vision, and they have very little of it. They have this one pink ward that's kind of, you know, over on the right side of the map, and that's about as good as their deep vision is getting. Now they're trying to establish some wards to hopefully be able to move forward and actually utilize that line to then be able to check forward at the Baron. You know, they're trying to use this as a staging ground to be able to get some wards into the pit, knowing that that's going to be spawning in 20 seconds. But as soon as the reset is complete, Golden Guardians back out on the map. The sweepers are ready. They're going to clear out all these brushes as quickly as they can and just once again turn out the lights.
The wards, though, not cleared away. There we go. Licorice spots it, and it gets the drop. I think Pridestalker's actually the sweep there. The wards will die. Ornn sounds into the fog of war. They're going to find a knockup onto just the Renekton. Not a prime target, so it's not going to happen. Dragon Soul in 1 minute 10.
And Luger wasn't even there, so I don't think that they could have even followed up on it, no matter who it was, really. But Licorice now in deep. We'll see if he can get out of this. Ablazeolive coming in.
1v3 for a bit. Ablazeolive is here, as you mentioned, getting some decent damage, and poor Lee Sin. Contractz drops again as he was separated from the squad, and the CC was there. The other 3 able to kill him. He'll be dead easily for the Baron play, and probably for the Dragon there as well. Golden Guardians get to just collect their victory here. I don't think CLG get to leave the base. They get to clear and earn some gold. We'll see it dip back below 10k for a second maybe, and then it's Baron on the board. It's Dragon Soul claimed, and Golden Guardians will probably end the game from there.
Absolutely. I think you just grab the Dragon Soul here. You reset off that, spend all your gold. I don't even know that they actually need to reset right now prior, but they do have the Hex Gates to get out, so they have enough time, you know, with that additional move speed to get over. Palafox looking for a deep flank. Yeah, flip a coin, look for some sort of a pick, hope that you get lost face checking you, and see if you can get that kill. But they're playing it safe. They're playing it safe.
He played it really well, though. Had the blast run for the escape, so QE backwards. Auto attack is really clean for Palafox, sadly. T's crossed, I's dotted. No way for a pick on a Golden Guardians. They're going to try. Contractz is here, though. It is a 5-on-5, but against Baron and against a sharp team at 11,000 gold. Licorice goes for the flank play. He's going to be jumped on. Now, can they win the 5v4 is the question, as Palafox tries to on the backline. Not going to happen. Ornn sounds, knock up onto 3, but Poome is going to drop. Is it going to be enough, though? Will they find a kill back? Licorice so tanky, and Palafox cannot find the kill. 2 for 1 in favor of Golden Guardians, and it only gets better from here, as they've still got a jungler. They've still got the chance to play for this one. CLG will try to pull it out, but will it even happen? TP available for Ablazeolive. They're going to send him back to base to heal to come back. Can they burn it down? They're going to try. Smite's going to be crucial, and they claim the bounty. It's going to be enough now. Olleh locked in place. Olleh dives in, but Olleh dies. And is it going to be enough now? 3-on-3. The retreat for CLG. They claim the dragon. They claim the bounty, and they've got to run. The Tifa was 2 for 2. I can't believe they got this much out of it.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked. Golden Guardians playing very respectfully. They're very defensively. You know, they had an extra man still in the area. I thought they were going to try to go for it, but they end up backing it up. They want to get the TP reset in for Ablazeolive. Didn't feel comfortable, I think, moving into the fight at lower health. But as a result, you miss that soul win condition, and you are buying a significant amount of time here now for CLG, because some of the Baron buffs got removed. We can see this one more time. Licorice going for the flank, using the Hex Gates. He's going to kind of appear, you know, right over here as they're moving forward. Palafox did a great job kind of kiting back and buying some time there for his team. And then as Licorice actually gets collapsed on, he gets stunned up. Luger is involved. He's buying time. You can see Ablazeolive on the bottom of your screen is actually getting pushed out here by Palafox. The stasis are used by both the soul laners of and Olleh, you know, not able to help bail out Licorice there. He gets pushed back, but still, you're up a man in this spot, and I thought with the additional gold, they would have been confident to take the fight. I mean, they had GA available there on Lost, but they want to play it extra safe, and at a certain point, you know, that extra kind of caution becomes a bit of a danger because you're buying a lot of time for your opponents. You can see Jinx now closing in on 4 items. Luger is a true threat. Palafox has hit 16. Everyone has their Ornn items. You know, the scaling is in effect for CLG.
Knock up onto 1. CC gonna land for a million years, but it's not gonna be a kill. Ablazeolive does not find his way down.
Oh,
It's gonna be Contractz.
No.
Takes the Q onto a minion and just drops for it to flay out for a bit of time. Olleh, tanky, gonna have to burn a stopwatch. Jinx ulti is down. Can they find this kill? Uh-oh, Jenkins is low. No more frontline. Olleh at 1 hit. A flay back buys some time, but it's not a kill just yet. Licorice does stay alive. Lost knocks down a turret. Bottom inhibitor's gonna be open. That one's gonna fall now as well. 5 on the map, but the health bars are so low, Golden Guardians will disengage off a single kill.
They will have to disengage again. It's a TP flank coming through here.
These could be couple
Jenkins
kills.
and Palafox double TP. Can they actually catch them?
This can work, this can work, this can work. The health bars are so low, it is playable. Palafox is slowed, gets the, not a stun just yet, but has an ulti. Buys some time once you want to press that button. Pridestalker just deletes him 1v1, almost wins it. The heal comes back in, pulled back to safety. Jinx has a lock in and will find a single kill, but no reset. Jinx never got to deal damage. Olleh dives in. Doesn't find much else. So again, CLG able to find themselves a single kill in this trade back.
Yeah, only able to get that 1 kill, but man, that fight in the base was so close to getting a reset for Luger on multiple kills. There was multiple people on the Golden Guardian side down below, what, 10% health there? Contractz, you know, tried to go for a play, but just way too far in. Kind of overestimating what he could get done there, taking the Q in. I think he was hoping to find a ride in to be able to actually get a kick back. Meanwhile, on stage, we are having some quick microphone issues. We will hopefully have that fixed up and be right back in the game. But, you know, it's so dangerous going for those types of plays on Lee Sin unless you can instantaneously find a kick flash.
Yeah.
Leona and Renekton will ruin your life. Point and click CC will stop any sort of delayed combo instantaneously. That's what happened to Contractz. And had he been alive, maybe those 5-10% HP bars are a kill. You know, maybe you can actually get that reset. And if Luger can get that, the fight can sometimes look very, very different. But the ready checks are going out, and I think we're going to be right back into it.
Lowercase r and I'll chat in a game to come back in. The 10,000 gold lead has remained relatively flat, and the fact that this happened to Golden Guardians last week against FlyQuest. Yes, a very different game where you're against, you know, top smite Karma, so it's a different texture here. But getting this big lead and then failing to close out that one, this gigantic lead where they got Baron, they're 5v4 on the map, they're then 4v3 on the map, and they don't claim Soul. I have concerns over Golden Guardians' willingness to close out games from ahead.
And the amount of gold that's going to be flooding into the base now. You know, this feels like one of those things where sometimes you get a little bit gun-shy when something goes wrong in a previous game. You're worried about the throw, and sometimes playing too defensively can lead to that because you're giving so much time. You know, yes, the gold lead is still at 10K, but there's 5 Ornn items over there as well. So you can cut about, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 gold off of that. Really, the gold lead is kind of cut in half. And at that point, this late in the game, time to kill gets so low that, you know, with Death Cap coming through, with the Lord Dominic's almost done here, level 16 on Luger. Yeah. It's more about positioning and execution than it is about the wallet at this stage in the game.
It is, as long as you can kill the frontline before they kill yours, because Ornn's going to tank and ahead of Aphelios. Yeah. Better than a Renekton tanks a Jinx with reasonable gold income. So frontline, not going to be a good look for Golden Guardians. They should still have the playmaking, but the question is, they have to make those plays, and they haven't looked good yet.
Nope, they haven't been able to kind of close it out. You know, their early stages were looking really good. I think Lost has been having a very, very strong game. There's been some hesitation on some of these plays. Haven't been able to really close the door on a potential CLG comeback. We'll see if they can do that. One thing really working in their favor, though, still double GA is very, very powerful if it is going to be a one-fight game. Licorice can go ultra aggressive, trade out his life to just keep Luger out of a fight. And if you can keep Luger out of a fight, CLG is very likely not going to win it. Lost as well, you know, even if you can find that engage on him, you've got to kill the guy twice because he also has the GA in his pocket.
Next fight coming soon, though. Dragon Soul attempt number 2 is in 45 seconds. Preempted by a couple seconds by the Baron itself. I don't know if Golden Guardians want to trade that one for on either side, as bounties still exist. You can still add some extra gold to the CLG pockets. 10,000 gold lead underneath that now. 9.9 as CLG have worked back. It's going to force a flash out of Ablazeolive, and now that means Ornn can hit 3. Gets the Zhonya's out. A stun to the backline. Buys some time. A root on the Licorice. Hooked back in. GA may pop as he's flayed and burns his stopwatch for some time. But Jenkins getting lower and lower. Gordrigger heal comes in and he will burn. Lost is godlike. They do get through the Ornn. and that should mean a claim on Baron or Dragon 5v4.
Yeah, just barely. They're able to get those kills. The GA was spent. Flashes are spent. The stasis is spent. Contractz looking for some sort of a miracle steal here, but I don't think he's going to be able to get in. You lose the soul.
Yep.
Likely means you lose the Baron here as well. CLG, a good swing, but couldn't quite get it. And Lost standing strong.
The slows 3 of them, thanks to Leona. Yeah, it's a good play, but basically now any even missed engage is going to slow the entire team. Did Solar Flare slow one person? It slowed 4 people. The engage gets a lot easier, and it's why it's such a snowbally rip, is you just get to get the fights, because of course you're ahead. You have Dragon Soul. Just, you know, having the battle happen is going to mean you close the game out, and that's so valuable for that purpose. Baron getting burned down. Again, CLG knows they can't fight for it. That's handed over yet again. Another Baron on the board. Golden Guardians once again get their lead above 10,000. This time they got to close it out.
Yeah, this is their big window of opportunity here. If you can't close now, you're looking again at Elder 5 minutes in the future, where CLG is going to be polishing out those item builds. They're going to be finished up pretty much entirely.
Yep.
They do have to be a little bit careful because they did lose the GA for Licorice. So though you got a big injection here from that Dragon Soul, Licorice has to play it a little bit more safe than he did last time around. But we're just looking still for that closeout here from Golden Guardians. Lost has been untouched. He has the Summoners. He has the Gale Force available. Was looking for a potential flank there. Contractz was spotted though, and he's gonna have to run.
Seasons, that's gone. Palafox steals Leona ulti, gets the Gale Force out of Lost. Top turret getting low, then with Green Gun, that's always going to die if you want it. But a flash kick, not going to find him. Lost flashes in time. They get some CC, and Contractz going to drop. It's a 1-for-1, as Leona has been slain as well. 4-item Jinx can be scary. Inhibitor is down, though, is the important thing. Palafox on a blue elixir and a death cap. Can also get a lot done. Rocketing the team, not going to get a whole lot done. 4v4 Biscuit Jungler. Just missing your primary engage. And Golden Guardians, with a Baron buff and a 4-on-4, are going to recall away 1. Taking the fight now as they TP back to mid laner. Sinja ulti claimed, and when does Palafox go in? Gets the invulnerability and just dives in, killing Renekton. Trading 1-for-1. Now a 3v3 on the base, but the turrets are low. Keep in mind, the wave's been crashing in. This will be middle inhibitor down, bottom inhibitor available, and Nexus turrets at 10%.
Yeah, it's all about Luger here. You've got to protect him. It's just Luger and 2 supports, and they're going forward.
Diving in to kill the turrets, now diving in to kill the AD carry, and that's going to be it. That's going to be the kills that you need in the backline. Ornn can't get it done. Lost gets the kill. The Nexus falls. 39 minutes. Golden Guardians on the board.
Golden Guardians picking up their first win. Really strong performance from Lost in this one, 8-0-7. They won the 2v2 very heavily in the bot lane. They're able to punish Contractz on this overextension in the gank and really took that lead and were able to snowball it very effectively. You know, yes, Golden Guardians have some things to work on as far as cleaning out that game, but I think Lost individually had a really strong performance, and it is still a step forward for this team that is trying to build upon this early stages of the year.
Definitely a good win for Golden Guardians. Just kind of, okay, 0-2 week, whatever, start of the season. Keep in mind, this roster didn't play lock-in. The Academy squad played, so it's their 3rd game together on stage. A luxury that teams like CLG actually got to play through lock-in and work out some kinks. And, you know, CLG themselves went 2-2 in their group stage. Like, they had a win over Dignitas, right? They had some good-looking wins. Sadly, has not come together just yet. But to sum up on Golden Guardians, I think their early game and their mid game look really good. Like, if you take that first 25 minutes, I like Golden Guardians for a top half of the standings. Like, this is a good-looking team. It all kind of plays together really well. It's the back half that I want to see it cleaned up, right? This took too long to beat CLG. Letting FlyQuest back in last week, that's not kind of okay. You had leads against Cloud9. Like, that could have converted into a win. Like, those are all things where if you're a bit of a better team in the late game and you all grow together and improve that, then this team is 3-0 instead of 1-2, and I'm taking you far.
And to me, I think it really looks like maybe just a lack of confidence in what to do or how to actually, close it out. And if they can really build on that, get some strong voices in the team to try to pilot them through those mid and late game stages, I think this team, does show a lot of promise because, as you said, their early game has been pretty good across all 3 games.
All right, we'll see what more we have from them in the future, but Golden Guardians continue their growth. They got themselves on the board in spring, and now we are joining their AD carry Lost on stage with LeTigress for a Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Phreak. Lost by my side. The first Golden Guardians victory in the books for spring. You did have an unconventional first week. Ivern mid, Smite top. How did you all bounce back from that coming into week 2?
I don't think we looked too bad in first week.
No, right?
We did go 0-2, but in both games we were in decent positions and had chances to win, especially against FlyQuest. So I don't think we felt too bad after week 1, and we just worked on a lot of our mistakes. We still have a lot to work on now. But yeah, looking forward to what we can do for the coming weeks.
Yeah, especially looking at the way those early games played out. And the early game here was pretty strong, too. You seem like you were feeling yourself on the Aphelios, got you player of the game. Why do you feel that things went so well in the early stages?
I think we got a free herald off our shift. They didn't get much on bot side, and especially the 2v3 on bot when they ganked and we blew Thresh Flash and got a double kill. I think that was a really pivotal moment for our game.
What's it been like for you gelling with Olleh here in the bot lane since joining the roster?
Playing with Olleh is really, really fun. He's a really interesting guy. He streams. You should watch it. Super, super funny guy, and it's been really natural for me to play with him.
Yeah, big personality. In general, this has been a shift for you coming to Golden Guardians as well, and it's great to see these strong performances right off the bat. What has that transition been for you, having an opportunity, turning a fresh leaf and finding victories here?
It's been pretty fun. I think joining Golden Guardians, they've been really welcoming, and everyone's super, super nice, especially the coaching staff. And yeah, I think it's just fun playing with the team.
Last, I'm very much looking forward to what you and the squad bring out in the games in the future. Thank you so much for stopping by for the interview.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and head on over to the State Farm analyst desk to break that one down.
Good on you, Golden Guardians, finding their first victory of the split.
Boom.
Comes on day 1.
One on the
week
board.
2, get one on the board. Hey, it's good to see. I at least know, especially having been able to talk to Ablazeolive and Licorice as well after a tough week last week on the Bud Light League Lounge, that you know, they were definitely stewing in that, right?
Yes.
And you can feel how much they felt those losses, but also how winnable, in some cases, they felt those first 2 games were. So I think that's what's going to make this one feel much better for them, Emily.
Yeah, I mean, looking at especially the FlyQuest game where they, you know, I think definitely could have won that game. I think one thing to laud them for, though, is that they are always looking for early plays. And they do tend to have really strong gold leads off the bat. So even in their 2 losses last week, they had some of the strongest gold leads in LCS.
Yeah, I think they are a team that clearly can get early game advantages. It's just about if they're able to run away with those. Even in this game, they had a monstrous gold lead off the back of a lot of really close fights that went down. There was this one in the top lane that was super close. But then especially in the bot lane, there were a number of kills that went in their favor, this turnaround in particular.
Just for clarity's sake, so everybody, make sure you read that lower third there. That is their week 1 performance in the O2, showing that they're still able to build those leads. This one around, like you say, Mark, was pretty astronomical how much of a goal difference they had built so early on.
Exactly, and it's great to see that. A lot of that for the first week was how Pridestalker was pathing and finding ganks, and that was really good.
Yeah.
This game, a lot of it, this one was on loss. The fact that Pridestalker was in a really tough position and they were still able to get a kill off of that, and then as you know, Lost mentioned in the interview, that 3v2 that ended up turning into a double kill for
yeah.
Last and getting a flash for the Thresh, like they came up huge and they were able to keep the lead that they had and expand on it, which really feels bad after week 1 where you're not able to do that in both games, but congratulations to them.
I do know for sure that the Golden Guardians coaching staff are not thrilled with how long this game took to close out.
Right.
I bumped into Spooks, I think it was, backstage, and I was grabbing a drink, and I was like, how's it going? He's like, we'll get there. So, yeah, as you can see, the goal lead up and to the right looks really good, but it was around 10K at like 10 minutes, and it kind of flatlined there, or excuse me, 20 minutes, and then it took forever to close the game out.
And I think you could see that in some hesitancy. Like, you could definitely understand why they were making plays, and also additionally, on the flip side, why they might have been hesitant having lost both their previous games with still having gold leads. So, you know, that makes this a good game to go back and review, right? You can be like, and now that we've finally got the win, now we can look at shoring up a lot of our, you know, mid-game map trading, because that's where a lot of it comes from.
Exactly, and this game wasn't made easy just because there were times on side lanes where CLG was able to catch them out. I think Palafox had a great game.
Yeah,
Contractz was active, was having bad looks, but there were good windows where they got to pick on towards. Ablazeolive a few times a few times mid, but one time on side lane, and it was delaying the game for Golden Guardians by a lot. So there's a lot of good footage for this one to review for Golden Guardians, and great footage for CLG, because for CLG, it sucks that they lost and now there's 0-3, but I thought this game they were a lot more active than they had been in the prior games.
If you were in that review session with CLG,
Yeah.
what would be kind of the major takeaways for you from this game, like points to work on?
For me, I usually see it first step is like a play at a time. Everybody's on the same page as a squad. There are times where they're getting picked off. Like, for instance, there's one moment in Blue Buff where, like, Contractz getting picked off, right? Where I'm just like, okay, well, what's the overall objective right now? Like, no objectives is up. We're playing through one side of the map. Just go back to the fundamentals, because I think too many times in between, in the slower moments of the games, they're losing gold.
Well, Golden Guardians, they find the victory. CLG still looking for some clarity and direction. When we return, it's the undefeated FlyQuest, the only undefeated team remaining in the LCS, going up against the newest faces of TSM. We'll see you here.
Best team in the league. FlyQuest.
It could be a fight all the same. Half HP, Jenkins the knockup. Now big damage to the Zhao. 200 HP left onto him. Who's going to find it first? A flash to safety. Jenkins grasps, and he's got a teammate there as well. A 1-for-1, stays alive. That's a root in time. He can't lantern. Oh, lost. He lands it all. Olleh follows it up. Diving in to kill the turrets. Now diving in to kill the AD carry. And that's going to be it. That's going to be the kills that you need in the backline. Ornn can't get it done. Lost gets the kill. The Nexus falls. 39 minutes. Golden Guardians on the board.
Initializing legendary moments.
Take a look while you can, because if you blink, you'll miss it.
I'm sure you've heard the news.
Gold, gold, and more gold.
Here comes the big play.
Oh, that's
Perfect timing. You can see this one coming.
They get what they need. They got the mid. They got the support. They got the top.
Are they gonna give you some fun League of Legends? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome to the LCS.
FTX, official cryptocurrency exchange partner of the LCS.
Sequence complete.
What is going on?
I can't afford streaming anymore, so.
Sure you can. State Farm has rates that fit your budget.
Oh, good. Because some true crime would be nice.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.